EKA.
Yes.
I love your name because it's one of those names that can be abbreviated, I believe, right? I mean, how would you call, like, other than EKA?
Eka is, it's actually a slang word also in Finnish, and it means the first.
Love it. Love it. Do they call you, like, family, friends, do they abbreviate your name? No, it's impossible,
Actually,
right?
the name is already, Eka is already an abbreviation of
Oh,
Eka-Pekka, which is, I'm the only one with that name. My father is Pekka, which is a very traditional Finnish name. And I was the first one newborn of our whole family, so I became the first Pekka, which is totally weird. I think they were very drunk, my mom and dad, when they got that
oh,
idea.
it's so beautiful, man. Like, Finland is an amazing, like, land. It's like
It is.
truly, like, fascinating. Anyway, Ocean 17, Las Vegas. It's not your first time in Las Vegas.
Nope.
We got 7 questions like the 7 seas. Let's go with the first one. The ocean of Paulo Coelho, one of the most prolific and loved South American writers, lives inside a man. He has no borders by his own soul. Here's a quote. He say about the ocean, I have inside me the winds, the deserts, the oceans, the stars, and everything created in the universe. We were all made by the same hand, and we have the same soul. If you were to choose a natural element that truly embodies your spirit, what would it be and why?
Has to be fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, I know this is a cliche, but I thought snow.
You thought snow?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love the snow. I do the hole in the ice swimming, wintertime
The hole in
swimming.
the ice swimming.
Yeah, wintertime swimming. I love that. It really,
Is that thing like in
it's
Finland?
a thing. It's not everyone do it. I mean, I think we are a minority who do it, and I'm completely nuts. I do it every chance I get.
Okay, walk me through that. So you make a hole into
We
the
make a hole in the ice and we dip in
the lake,
in the ocean.
in the ocean.
So one of the 7 seas. But you know, the thing is, why I chose fire is regarding my personality. So I mean, I am sometimes like a wildfire, sometimes like a small fire in a candle, but there is still quite a lot of passion burning in me. So therefore, fire. But of course, I mean, sometimes the snow up in the north and the frozen lake or ocean really calms me down, and that's what happens to fire, and it's a good thing.
What a great start, man. Fire. The ocean floor is considered the last true frontier on the planet. Scientists have described the extraction of mineral wealth from the deep ocean as perhaps the greatest challenge of the 21st century. Sometimes I look at the advertising business as one of the last frontiers of capitalism. The extraction of creative work from the ocean floor of our industry is a great challenge nowadays. How do you stay creative, fresh, relevant, and always original within an industry that at times seems to squash unique work and homogenize everything?
Well, I think when I was born and when I was for some reason given this creative mind, if you will, or a passion towards storytelling of all kinds, I don't even sort of think about having to, stay creative. That's my identity. I want to solve problems with creativity, be it whatever they are.
Right.
So, and it's my work as well, but it happens to be everywhere in my normal life. But the thing is, of course, a man is a vase, so we get empty. And I naturally, I read a lot, I look at beautiful art, weird art, I dive into all kinds of pop culture phenomena. I think the only real solid answer to this, and an honest one as well, is that I just keep myself curious.
But how do you find that there is a struggle between, like, creativity and keep yourself creative, and having to deal with, I mean, you are you are like, you know, the majority owner of like Nitro Group. So you had to balance between creativity and like finance and money and like, you know, reality check. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there is a whole world out there that not need to function. And that's sometimes like it can, when you work, maybe of course not like in an agency like yours, but when you work in a corporate agency, in a big corporate agency, that can squash you. That can really like quickly like.
But if you let it,
If you let it,
if
you
you
think
let
like
it,
if you let it.
yeah, because I always see creativity as in its broadest form. I mean, there's of course our storytelling creativity, but there is strategic creativity. There is finance creativity. Sometimes the finance people with their Excels are the most creative people, and that doesn't always end very well. As there's been examples on that as well. But I mean, the way I look at the world is that there's not a problem in front of you that cannot be solved without creativity. You can solve every problem in the world with creativity. You just have to embrace creativity in its broadest form. When you are about to be squashed, what is the creative way of getting out of that situation? I mean, we need to understand that, for example, for the clients, their everyday isn't easy. It's a tough job what they're having. And we need to be creative in helping them to help us be more creative with our things. So don't stop fighting. It's a good fight. Don't accept the squashy thing.
Why is that you think is a good fight? What is a good fight? What is a bad fight?
Well,
if there is a good fight, that means there is a bad fight.
Of course, but I mean, it's a good fight because I still think, even though we are sort of being very commercial as well, but our industry is important. We make good companies get their story out. I'm not saying we're not doing that for bad companies, but I mean, many people in our industry help good brands, deserving brands, to get their story out in a better way. Sometimes we end up even having the win-win-win situation so that the client is part of the winning equation. So it is a good fight. I believe it's a very good fight. If we make a deserving company have a stronger brand, it's a good fight that ended well.
Good. In 2500, as a result of the sea level rising over 25,000 feet, every continent on Earth is underwater. So in 2500, every continent will be underwater. The remains of human civilization live on a ramshackle floating communities known as atolls. Now, this is not my imagination. It's actually the creative plots of a movie that became a flop, but it was a very interesting movie. It was called Waterworld.
I agree.
It was a 1995 American post-apocalyptic action film directed by Kevin Reynolds, and it was starring Kevin Costner. Unfortunately, it was a flop because Kevin Costner was coming off like, you know, Dancing with a Wolf. Everybody was expecting him to do something else, but he did this. If you were to imagine the state of advertising in 2500, what scenarios come to your mind?
Well, first of all, if you say state of advertising, you basically set the table with then 2,500 also being companies. We don't know if that's the case, but let's say it is the case. I would answer this question first going back 500 years. What was common to this time and age if we go back 500 years? The common denominator is the world was quite different, but people loved stories.
Yeah,
They
since the
still
beginning
do.
of time. Yeah.
Absolutely. So 500 years from now, that will stay.
Is that why you love fire?
Yeah.
Because fire is one of the elements where people like gather around the fire to tell stories.
Yeah, the campfire.
The
yeah.
campfire, right?
But 500 years from now, I don't know what the world looks like. If we are here, we tell stories. So do brands.
So the brands. Sound reigns supreme underwater. As a matter of fact, it travels 5 times faster than in the air. If you were to drop a microphone 6 miles down into the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest point in the Pacific Ocean, instead of quietness, you will have a whole range of sounds. You will hear earthquake, ships, the distinct moan of whales, and the overwhelming noise of a Category 4 typhoon that just happened to pass overhead. Now, at Transatlantic, we believe that everybody's an ocean, and to really get to know somebody, you need to cross the ocean. So if I were to drop a microphone down to your soul, what would I be hearing?
I'm gonna give you a very, very honest answer.
Of course. Like,
A Finn can't do anything else also, you know.
just true.
You're gonna hear a lot of noise.
What kind of noise?
A really, really big noise.
Big
Because I'm an overthinker. I would easily say that I'm an overly sensitive person.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to terms with it. I think it's also when I think about my creativity, it's the sensitiveness is my superpower.
Of course.
But it hasn't always been easy. So you would hear a lot of noise. You would hear the fire in action and competing noises and all kinds of hell. But at the same time, suddenly, from time to time, the noise ends up being music.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to old music.
Old music. When you say old music, what you're referring, like country?
I would say La Mer, Dean Martin,
Wow.
Louis Armstrong. I like the 80s heavy music, heavy metal.
Heavy metal, heavy.
But I love I think there needs to be a guitar, bass, and a piano and drums.
That's awesome. I like that. Do you like Edith Piaf?
I love Edith Piaf.
Mom had, growing up, we had only one album in our house. And it was this red album of Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose.
I know
My mom,
that one.
every springtime, my mom used to just like back in the day, you would have like the changing closet. So you would like change clothing, change empty all the closet and the cabinets and like fill it with springtime clothing.
Yeah.
That was is sign the passage of time. Like, so you're going from winter into springtime.
That's lovely.
And every time she used to do that, every year she used to put this Edith Piaf on.
Oh,
so
that's
now, every time I hear Edith Piaf,
You go there.
Hymne à
travel there.
l'amour, and I go exactly there when it's springtime. But I live in San Diego, which is always springtime, so it's Edith Piaf all day, man.
Yeah.
In one of the most fascinating clips from the Wes Anderson movie, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Captain Bill Murray say, "Let me tell you about my boats." The Seven Words start a remarkable presentation of Belafonte boat. Now, if you were to present to me your boat, Nitro, what would it be like?
Can't I present my real boat?
Oh, yeah.
It's a lovely story. Me and my loved one, we bought it 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. It's a mahogany boat, Finnish made, beautiful wooden boat from the 1975 year.
Is it like one of those Riva boats?
In a Finnish way.
In a Finnish
so less
way.
expensive than
Less
a Riva.
expensive than a Riva.
But it's a beautiful Tiskeri, it's called. And
Tiskeri, wow.
yeah, but the name of the boat, because we love Italy and we love Italian food, but there is very special thing uniting us, me and my loved one. We love crappa.
Ah, wow.
And her father is really good when it comes to crappa. And we are both creative people. She's creative director at her furniture company, and I'm creative director at Nitro. And so we want to seize the moment. Every chance we get, we want to turn a moment into something bigger. So carpe diem is, of course, important philosophy for us. But we did this love for Italy and the cuisine and crappa and this other thing. So the name of the boat is Crappa Diem.
Grappa diem, oh man.
And
I
there's
love it.
always
Grappa diem.
grappa there.
Here we
and
go.
Every time we
Here
tie
we
the
go,
knots,
man.
we drink grappa. I have my guitar. I play on the deck. I wrote a song for Grappa Diem and her. But the thing is, when I am that fire, and in my soul you hear the noise. But when I sleep at Grappa Diem, no noise, the fire is low.
Gosh, man, it's like now
That's
I'm
my
gonna
boat.
always refer to you as Grappa diem, man. The Grappa diem, man.
The
I'm not
captain
even-
of Grappa Diem.
Grappa diem, man. Gosh. We also call grappino. So normally when like you go to the bar, you get grappa when it's very cold outside, and so you have a grappa. But normally men they say it's like grappino. They call it and grappino because it's a little shot and you
Yeah.
take it right like un grappino.
We even bought very old, suitable for Grappa Diem shots made of tin, shot glasses made of tin
Right.
to have Grappa
Amazing,
on a boat.
When the seagull follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. So these were the immortal lines told by Eric Cantona, which is like a football player, during a press interview. It was a sarcastic way to condemn the media for always following the trend rather than thinking with their own minds. Our creative industry comes with a very similar mentality. It seems that quite often we follow the trend no matter what. What trend would you rather not follow right now?
Right now, I think the world, even though it's quite complicated, at the same time, it's giving us millions of opportunities of being more creative. And we used to have this, I called it myself, the can layout. That we saw some beautiful images like from the Brint jury in Cannes years ago. And suddenly we started to redo that layout. We started to, even though there might have been a new idea, but we basically redid that layout. And then we looked at work coming from Thailand, for example, which didn't use any can layout, or just completely very creative, completely sort of out of the trends of the advertising world. And that is something that I wouldn't want to follow, and I don't want Nitro to
Agree with
follow.
you.
I mean, we come from this quirky, beautifully quirky place, Finland. You have a universal idea, but actually packaged in a way that it just looks different because it comes from another place. So
It's true about this trend. You know, I remember growing up in advertising. Advertising has a knack for robbing, other industry of ideas. So, for instance, remember when Forrest Gump, the feather of Forrest Gump, that was a trend. Everybody started doing trying to do something with the feather, and then there was American Beauty, the plastic bag in the wind, and then everybody
Absolutely.
started trying to do something with a plastic bag in the wind, and then I remember there was the gorilla the gorilla playing the drum, and everybody started trying to use some sort of animal that did
that's
something. It's
exactly
I
what
hate
I'm
it.
talking about.
Yeah, I hate
And
it.
you know what's the worst thing you can hear someone say about your idea? When someone says, "I've always liked that idea."
That's a way to kill it.
That's tough.
Oh, gosh. Okay, you're the president of the category creativity in business to business. It sounds like an oxymoron. Huh? Business to business and creativity don't appear to be best friends. That's from a point of view of a traditional creative.
Sure.
But if you pay attention to the work that's been created over the past few years, you understand that there are huge opportunities in business to business.
Absolutely.
Do you think there is actually a new frontier for creatives? What range of freedom can creativity operate within this category?
I definitely think it's not even that new a frontier, but it's still to be embraced more.
Right.
I mean, look at the epic split for Volvo trucks.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
was the
B2B
ultimate B2B,
campaign.
yeah.
You don't see many normal people buying a truck because of a
Right.
great ad. But the thing is, one thing what we need to remember, and this is the most important thing here, never, ever in the history of sales, marketing, or advertising has any company bought anything from another company.
Right.
the decision is always made by people.
Of course, it's human to human.
It's human to human. And B2B has, I've said for many years now, B2B doesn't mean boring to boring. There are people buying stuff from people. People wanting to influence other people that we can actually save your day with our solution. So therefore, we always need to talk to the heads and the hearts.
Of course.
And I think many B2B companies have understood that now, that they will be using same techniques as B2C. So therefore, the first answer is they have to be more creative. And I think they're more and more embracing that now. I come from a small market, so I mean, our biggest companies are engineering-based B2B companies, and therefore I've been working with that quite a lot. But the thing is, we've seen great things. I think our book from Leah will be very interesting. I think this is an important message to send to the agencies as well as the advertisers and marketeers. This is now an era where B2B can really stand out as a creative category, and everyone will not only make a buck, but build better brands.
Love it, man. Eka, look, like this was an amazing ocean cross. You gotta say, like your way of your cadence and your way of speaking, talking is like so affirmative, so loud, so like, you know, compared to an American, is refreshing. I think that you have so much energy because of the hole that you make in the ice lake.
I think so too. That helps.
That helps a lot because every time I go out of a cold water, cold like shower, I'm always like, you know, maybe like 10 decibel louder than I should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome, Eka. You know, I